What a bad week for the Padres organization, not so much on the field, but in the front office and in terms of credibility and appearance in the community. A week ago, the Union Tribune interviewed 24 different Padre players and staffers and wrote a rather convincing analysis that the Padres have a culture problem from front office to dugout. Then the Athletic went public and wrote a 32-person opinion piece on the Padres, and it did not paint a flattering picture about the general manager, A.J. Preller, all the people that work for him, and what happens up top and how it's filtered down in the bottom into the dugout. And on top of that, obviously, this is probably going to be a non-playoff baseball season. Let's look at the quotes that were posted by The Athletic. This comes from current players, former staffers, as well as baseball executives on other clubs who have opinions about the Padres. Across the board, institutional failure. I'm sure that's got to do with communication and with culture. The GM-manager relationship, unfixable, according to baseball executives, that there's a great disconnect between the general manager and the manager that he hired. They call the roster in the clubhouse, not so much on the field, just an absolute disaster. They blame Preller for having his fingerprints, John, on virtually everything. And the insinuation is you can't have a general manager in the dugout running the business that Bob Melvin is supposed to be running. Says there's a very uncomfortable feel in the clubhouse, that Preller's got spies in different locations of the clubhouse, which is not good because that means it's not Melvin's clubhouse, it's not the players' clubhouse. You know, you look at the other situation, 3 managers in a row have now had their relationship with Preller deteriorate at the end right before they got fired. Is Bob Melvin on that same track? So the clubhouse is just a fractured mess. That's got to do with personalities. It's probably got to do with pay. One player said this is the most toxic situation I've ever been in. You got big salaries, you got big egos. The Fab Four is all about their individual stats. It's not a team goal concept, and just toxic pessimism. Now, I've been in that clubhouse a lot over the long group of years. This clubhouse has got a strange feel to it. Not as ugly as the clubhouse when Matt Kemp was here and Justin Upton was here and James Shields was here, but this thing just doesn't feel right. And of course, the UT was of the opinion that Manny Machado has such a huge presence in the clubhouse that nobody's willing to stand up and confront him on anything. You know, the one condemning thing that I got out of the UT article, and this kind of carries over to what the Athletic just wrote, John, had 18 meetings during the season while the things were unraveling, and nothing positive came out of the team meetings. A lot of rhetoric, and nothing changed whatsoever. So this is really a bad look, a bad optic, and Peter Seidler's got his hands full. We say prayers for Peter Seidler in his battle coming back from another surgery. He's not at Petco Park yet, not coming to any more games. Who knows when he'll be able to actually go back into the office. But at the end of the day, they got a culture problem, they got a leadership problem, and obviously it's spilled into the clubhouse. And now people everywhere in baseball are talking about it. So, John, I don't think it's a good scene. I don't know how you fix it because you got a GM that's under contract into 2027. I don't know how you fix it when every big money contract he gave runs anywhere from 8 to 10 to 11 to 14 years. And I don't know how you fix it and get beneath the luxury tax, because they've got to add players, which means they got to spend more money to be able to complete the roster. Don't like anything I hear, read, or feel about the Padre clubhouse right now. John, you're out in left field today. Give us a response.
This is incredible. Excuse me. First of all, this makes a lot more sense to me than the article in the UT that was sort of kind of blaming Manny for, most of the problems. But I have always been a guy that has backed Preller because I look at all the deals he's making, and not every deal he's made has been perfect. But overall, I thought he is net positive in the trades he's made, the free agent signings he's made. Players just not performing. But when I read this list that you put on the board here from the Athletic article, this is too much meddling, So you ask the question, can he fix it? The contracts are locked in. So maybe the thing that can be fixed is either getting rid of Preller or adjusting the way that he manages from, his front office. If he could just back off the meddling and let Melvin do his job, maybe we've got a shot.
You like dogs, Dalmatians? Do the spots on a Dalmatian change? No, I don't think the spots on Preller are going to change. He is the way he is. That's his philosophy of how he runs. I don't think they're going to fire Melvin. I've been told from somebody that I trust that Melvin just might walk away from it, that he doesn't need this aggravation. If he can't be the manager that he needs to be with the style he needs to be, he might walk away. And that creates another problem because, John, as much as I might like Preller or you honor Preller's acquisitions, John, can you trust Preller to hire a manager, considering he's hired 3 and 3 may vacate, on top of the fact didn't want to interview Dave Roberts, on top of the fact fired Bud Black? It's not. I don't think it's a good situation. They're in chaos as they go to the final week of the season. That's not the only story.